Okay, folks, you have to forgive me. It's not even midnight. Went to sleep early. Woke up with reflux. I guess I'm nervous. Yeah, I am nervous. I think Yahweh gave me the inspiration that I needed, and so I'm going to follow through on it today. It's too much at one time, though. I don't like to do so much change at one time. But yet, here I am being motivated to pull off some major moves in one day. What, working on a new house? Hiring a new attorney? Setting up new strategies? Taking on new projects? Buying another motorhome? I'm not sure about this one. It feels like, really? You mean that's possible? Yes, I found a motorhome, and I haven't even gone to much fundraising. Look, I'll take the blessing. Hope you can hear me okay. I've got the fantastic fans blowing quite a bit, and I just popped the window open to get a cool breeze, and I've got out some kefir to help calm my stomach, calm me down. Dairy products are a down regulator. Sometimes we need down regulating. The only problem is I've already got a little bit of congestion. I'm sure you can hear it. And a little bit of phlegm. I don't want to get sick, but I've also gotten off the road. I got myself parked, and I think I'm set up in here pretty nicely at the moment. The rig needs some service for sure. I stopped by a couple places, and it needs some expensive service. But at least I know what it needs. And then, of all things, to discover an old vintage diesel pusher that appears to be in my range of affordability. And it's not going to be instant, but it might be pretty fast. So I got to go over, secure it, figure out how to insure it. Excuse me, put temporary plates on it probably. And then I got to take it to, I got a couple people that can work on it. I'm going to take it to the bigger shop. The guy charges a little bit. He doesn't always, he sometimes wants to do the bigger job than what needs to be done, but at least I know that of him. The other fellow, he's okay, but he charges more. He's slow at getting to things. He doesn't have a big crew, so it'll be sitting there way too much. At least with the other fellow out of town, it'll be there. He can put people on it. It'll get done in short order. Excuse me, I'm sorry for the sniffling. I've got the Bose headset on. And it's hooked up to the Bluetooth phone. It's okay. I don't get to hear myself as well as you get to hear me. I think there's 11 microphones inside this headset. But these over-the-ear cups make it hard for me to hear myself. An amazing breakthrough today. The proper name version of the King James Bible is now available freely online in apps. Don't ask me how it happened. The publisher made an announcement today, and we were all kind of surprised. I didn't think it would ever be made available, to be honest with you, but apparently you can put it on your iPhone or on your smartphone, and along with it, you also get the original version of the King James at the same time, which I think is about ideal. I think that it should be, I've been trying to get the publisher to publish a parallel translation for a couple, 3 years now. It's equal. You should put these things side by side, and that opens up all of the research that's been on the King James, the original King James, it opens it up with this newer Bible. I might have had something to do with that now that I think about it. And by the way, this large print Bible, he told me specifically that was because of me asking for it. And I got a new copy of the Bible. I needed one, and I knew I'd get one, but I was thinking that my Uncle Roy would leave that copy of the Bible to Colleen, my distant relative. Colleen's a believer, and she'd benefit by having that. And it's the Bible. It's the copy I bought for my Uncle Roy and my Aunt Goldie as a gift a while back. She made him get on the phone and thank me profusely for it. That's nice. It's tabbed. They aren't Bible readers, so I wanted it to be tabbed. Let's make it easy on them. And it's also black. It's large print. I think it's had one of the corners bent up because it's been shipped around a bit. And it's in Alaska waiting for me. I'm not going to tell you the derogatory note that was accompanying it. Yes. My dear brother taking a dig at me. It's okay. I realize now after all these years he doesn't love me. He can't love. He's on that drug the mass shooters take. He's not able to connect with anybody positively. I told him years ago to get off that dope, and he refused to do it. At least he listened to me when it came to the major tranquilizer that was depressing the hell out of him that would have driven him to suicide. So I have watched out for my brother in many other ways beyond just that over the years, but of course he's saw fit to give me a kick in the derriere again. That's okay. There is such a thing as justice, and there's also what's called poetic justice. Anyway, I am so jazzed to realize that I'm going to get one of the old vintage rigs ever made. Now the insurance is going to cost quite a bit more. They jacked up the rates on my insurance on this little motorhome because of claim activity. I couldn't go with a better insurance company that would have lower rates. Somebody hit and ran on me. Okay. Wasn't my fault, but I get to pay for it. But the insurance company tells me that's not why they jacked the rates up. They jacked the rates up because everything costs more to repair and fix. So they jacked rates up all the way across the whole country. We have 23 years left. I think it's important you think about that. So I'm going to ask you a very important question. How do you want to spend the next and the last 23 years of your life on this earth that we have going right now? And you're going to say, well, Dr. Kent's nuts, man. That ain't going to happen. Look, the earth is going to rebirth. It's going to destroy itself, basically. And there's going to be a rebirth. We are going to see lands change. Lands come up out of the ocean. Lands go down into the ocean. So let me tell you about a vision I had, and I can't tell you when I had this. In my vision, all of the men, the old men from around the world in different cultures, all went up into the high places, the mountains, and they did war. They sang their warrior songs and their warrior chants, and those that did warrior dances did warrior dances. They did it all. Up in the high country, every group of elder men for all of these different cultures around the planet went up there at the same time. And they chanted, and they prayed, and they sang their hearts out. And as a result, some of them won and some of them lost. Some of them, their ancient lands came up out of the oceans. Those who lost, their land submerged beneath the oceans. It was like a system of locks and risers, if you will, except that's with water, this is with land. And some of the land went way up out of the oceans, high, and some of the land that was already up went right down, right below the waters. This next time when the earth gets hit, America is going to go into a deep freeze. As far as I can tell, and I could change my mind on this, we are going to go into a flash freeze here on this continent. So, you better get yourself some warm clothes, bunny boots, that expedition level long underwear. I used to have some of that, and I used to have bunny boots. I don't have any of them anymore. And above all, you better get yourself set up with some fossil fuels. First of all, there's no such thing as fossil fuels. There were never enough fossils to make that stuff. Second, it's not limited. As I told you, the earth makes that stuff all the time. They go back to the old oil fields that they've already tapped down, and the earth has replenished it. Why? Because it's a giant electric engine, giant motor turning here in space. And the oil is part of the insulation, so it functions right. You're going to want a lot of that so you can get yourself through this ice age. It's not going to last long. But believe me, when it goes to flash freezing stuff, you're going to want to stay warm. So you're going to want to have some oil put aside, some diesel fuel. You're going to want to be able to keep yourself warm. The other side of the earth is going to get cooked up. It's going to be real miserable for those people. Also, there's something in the Bible where the people, the creatures, the animals above the surface all go blind. That includes the people. That includes the people. I told you I read 6 different days of the Lord in the Bible. That's one of them. Now, October 16th, 2046, the date came from a Jewish man who was published, and he's taken different data. He's taken it from the Bible. He's taken it from core samples of ice, the geological record, the different isotopes that they come up at different levels from when our sun goes off. It's gone off before. Yep. So, why that date? Ask the Creator why that date. According to the Jewish gentleman, he says that is the anniversary of Noah's flood when the waters broke forth. So whatever this is that we're coming to, it also is a timepiece, if you will. A place in the Milky Way corresponds to Noah's flood. I like kefir. It is a depressant, and there's a lot of foods out there that are stimulating. You want one? Apricots. That'll speed up your metabolism. You want another? Zucchini. As cheap as it is, and as much as we used to play games and who we could dump the zucchini on and all that, it's a good food. It speeds up your metabolism. I put a call in today to a manufacturer in Arkansas. I want to represent their product. It speeds up the metabolism, and it's like a silver bullet. Whatever ails you in your body, it goes for. I think it's referred to in the Bible. I haven't passed that around my older brothers yet to see if if I'm out to lunch or that'll hold water at all. We live in a time of major transition. I know people are stressing. I hear it. I still say the same thing. Get yourself a good version of the Bible that you like. What's the best version of the Bible? The one you read. So get yourself a Bible that you're comfortable with reading and just read it. Don't try to study deep into something and penetrate it and give it meaning that's not there. Don't do that. Just read it across the board. Push yourself through it. If it gets boring, you can fast forward if you want. You can skip it completely. There's plenty more to read. And those genealogies and all that Paul keeps warning us about, not to waste our time with that stuff. That stuff will mean something down the road. I think that the translators didn't get Paul right. I think Paul was mishandled because he told us how to live in the present and how to cultivate the Holy Spirit so we can beat the evil ones, and they don't want us doing that. They don't want us living in the Spirit. Oh, believe me, I get upset. And as I told my neighbor, can I get away with killing them? Now, when I say something like that, I'm being facetious. She knows it. She and I are mature adults. And of course she says, oh heavens, no, and I understand that. I mean, I'm just expressing my anger. It's just a level of anger. They've violated my boundaries. They have done something horrible. And actually what they've done is a series of crimes. And they should be punished for it. Now, will they be punished for it? Welcome to America today. I think this is a free-for-all, or almost. It's going to get there. I told you, ladies, get yourself a pistol. You haven't had a pistol before? Go to the gun shop. Talk to the nice men there. And there's women there, too, that know guns. Ask to handle, ask to look at them, ask to handle them. Get a tour. Have them show you around. Believe me, they love doing that. You know, I mean, some of these guys just want to sell you something, but a lot of them, it's like, man, if they can show you around, and you don't have to buy anything, the longer you wait, probably the better the choice is going to be. But you want something that appeals to you, that's light, something that fits your hand, that fits you. And you want to go for you want reliability above all, and you want capacity. You don't want to be running out of bullets in the middle of a gunfight or in the middle of some mob violence. So the more, the merrier. The more, the better, because you're going to have to defend yourself. Personally, I like 50-round magazines. Yeah, I know. I'm shooting tiny little bullets. So what, you know? I mean, they don't have a lot of knockdown power. They don't have a lot of range, but I'm just self-defense sort of stuff. It's beyond 200 yards, 200 meters. That's a long ways. I don't know if I can justify that as self-defense. Maybe you can. And now, if somebody's setting fire to a structure in these Democrat strongholds, they get away with it. It's no longer considered a felony in some of those places, even if people are in the building. So I guess you're not going to be able to take their life. That's one of the criteria that's been around the country in most places. It's a law. If you see someone setting fire to an occupied building, in other words, they're going to kill people, you can take their life on the spot. You can dust them on the spot. That's back when we still had some sanity and common sense. This is going to be show number 60. I can't believe I have that many out there. You need to move to higher ground. Yahshua said, go to the mountains. Don't take the time to get a cloak. If you don't have a cloak, go with the clothes on your back. They also said basically sleep in your clothes, so you wouldn't be naked at the time. You'd be able to get up and go. Now, a lot of guys who have been in combat situations, that's exactly what they did. They lived in their clothes with their boots on, everything ready to go. They slept that way. And by the way, the temperature is going to be going up a sharp 15 degrees Fahrenheit from where it is right now. Yeah, 15 degrees warmer. No, it's not. Well, it is global warming, but it's not what you think. It's not this, your SUV exhaust from your tailpipe causing that at all. They couldn't stop it if they wanted to. They know what's coming. They know that CO2 increases as a result of the heat. It doesn't increase and cause the heat to go up. It's the effect of the heat going up. And this period's happened so many times in the past, it's been mapped out many times. And our sun is going to get really unstable. Our Earth is already unstable. Started destabilizing at the Carrington event. If you don't know what the Carrington event is, look it up. Carrinton. It was back in the 1800s where it about set the telegraph lines on fire. Of course, we got a lot more lines, a lot more wires crossing around than back then. I hate to take this from the Jews, but the menorah is not a Jewish symbol. It didn't originate there with their faith and with their religion. Could be wrong about that. What's the evidence? Well, the menorah is carved up all over the world in the caves when men had to go hide in caves from the last Earth Age and the previous Earth Age. And they would show pictures of what they saw. And what they were seeing were the plasma displays in the sky. And that's what your menorah is. So I don't think the Jewish faith started 12,000 years ago. But the menorah started 12,000. Well, at this point, 12,000, 34, 35 years ago. Yeah, I can get it that close in case you're wondering. Just doing simple math. The angel didn't show up at my place and tell me all this stuff. There's no word from Yahweh for you. If there was, I would tell you it was. And I only prayed before a therapy session to ask Yahweh, Creator Father God, what's the message you want me to deliver to them? What do they need to hear now? What is it you want me to tell them? Hey, I'm not working. There's no paycheck involved, right? I don't have to show up, go to work, get up in the morning, commute a long distance, dress a certain way, go through a Sally Port, maybe get patted down, have my car searched, security. That's what it was like in the prisons. I still want you to buy my Bibles. Really, I do. I think you should have one on your shelf. If the electrical storms kick up, all that electronic stuff is going to be gone. That's it. All of it. The elite are planning on it. They've been looking forward to this day where you're stripped of all that stuff and they get to watch the games. Yeah. What do you think Trump was announcing back when he did the acceptance speech at the dinner, if you will, back after the first time he was elected? Here's to his re-election. Trump, this time we're going to hold your feet to the fire, and Yahweh's going to have a word with you. Maybe public, most likely private. And you're going to do what he tells you to do. Because if you don't, he might just flat out kill you. Trump was okay for about 6 months. That's as long as they stopped spraying us for. Remember after 9/11, they stopped spraying us for like 9 months, almost a year? Remember how nice the weather was? Because they weren't manipulating it? And how beautiful blue the skies were. Oh, and the air was so clear. It was good for all of our health. Well, here's to your health. I'd love to see that spraying shut down again. The problem is that after Trump had been in office for 6 months, he came aboard with the plans of the guys who run the place. And they started spraying us again. And by the way, this stuff about Oprah painting her roof blue, it's not true. A friend of mine told me it wasn't true. Another friend of mine told me why it wasn't true. She already had a blue roof, a metal roof. It was blue in advance. There wasn't anything special there, like they were taking the blood of the lamb and putting it over the lintels, over the doorposts and all that stuff. It wasn't like the Passover. Only blue roofs were the Passover. It's amazing how these rumors start. Her house is on the backside of Maui. Nobody's near her. She owns a lot of property. It's very private. I've never seen it. My housemate has. And I got another friend who has too. I'll ask him when I see it. But I don't chase down all of these rumors. There's no need to. Anyhow, I appreciate you out there tuning in to me. I wish I could give you more information. Wish I could do more from the Bible. I'm going to be doing more from the Bible. I guess this is my indulgence right now. It's the middle of the night. I went to bed nervous, fretting over the future. Yahweh gave me things to do. I don't know if they're going to work out. I mean, I'm not even sure if Yahweh gave me all of that. It might have been just part of myself, part of my subconscious or something bubbling up. But it's better to have an action plan and have ideas and to do it than to just sit still. At least when you have an action plan, you'll do something, and that'll help you right there to feel better. And if it's the wrong thing, you'll discover that, and you will learn from it. Then you'll figure out what you really got to do. So it's good to take action. Be careful on what action you take. Don't be rash. Certainly don't do anything criminal. I mean, if you're thinking about doing something that could be construed or misconstrued as criminal, then you got to back off a little bit. Cultivate the Holy Spirit. Pray about it. Ask Yahweh, please take this burden I have. Let me have your burden. One of the things I love to do, sometimes I'll get up and I'll say, Yahweh, how can I help you today? That's my prayer. And I almost immediately laugh at myself, and I kind of criticize myself. What? You think you can help him? Yeah, I can. If Yahweh tells me to do something and I don't do it, that ain't too good. But if he tells me to do something and I do it, usually the results are like, man, I didn't see that coming. That's a surprise. I didn't think those people were going to be open to the message. Forgive my sniffling. I'm going to have to, I just got settled in. I've got to go and get some real food. I'm kind of afraid to see what it costs. And I got to start cooking some stuff up that's good for me. I got some medicine coming. I got to get some more supplements going. I'm going to start using my red light, infrared light. It's metabolic medicine. and it's healing. I'm using it to tame down a condition I have that I don't really want to share with you. I don't want you worrying about me, and you don't need to know about that stuff. I feel pretty good. I've discovered some new technology these doctors don't want us to have. They kill us. It's their job. And the government licenses them to do it. I don't like them very much. Of course, they don't like me either, from what I can see. Yeah, the doctorate that I have outranks them slightly. They weren't allowed to graduate at the same time those of us with real doctorates were allowed to graduate. You see, their degree is a technical degree, dictated by Big Pharma. Has about 100 years of tradition behind it. Slightly more than that. That's it. Whereas the PhD has got about 4 or 5 centuries of tradition behind it. It's a better degree. The only problem is that because we don't prescribe those poisons you call medications, we're not considered real doctors. Man, I've met some brainy women lately. The crazy thing is they're all slightly off-center. And what's nice is that I actually get to shore them up a little bit because I've become a real man later in life. I mean, I walk around and I see these men that are walking the streets, especially in Flagstaff. My God, those poor women, look at what they got to choose from. These guys aren't interested in anything to do with them. They want to be with another man. So when I talk to a woman, they usually talk to me. They want to talk to me. Even if they're feminists, they still want to be, well, they want a little bit of exposure to what a real man is. Yeah. Has nothing to do with size. Not much to do with strength. A bit to do with courage and audacity. Taking chances. Holding your ground. Honoring your word. Being loyal. Women, you need to arm yourself up and be able to protect yourself because most of these men aren't going to do it. I'm not going to do it either. You haven't been nice to me. You got us into a lot of trouble. You've been dominant. You want to tell us men how we can defend ourselves or you, and you're expecting us to do things for you that are just ridiculous at this point. You're expecting to kick at us. You're expecting to be able to dominate us, and you're expecting the courts to be able to award everything to you. Even though you're the one committing adultery, you expect to get it anyway. Sorry, they aren't princesses. Not only that, you aren't as nice as the men are. Men are generous. Men give more than women do. Geez, if you go walk the streets for a little bit and you start crossing some roads, you'll find out in short order who you can walk in front of, who's looking out for you in your best interest, and who this hell is dangerous as hell because she wants to run your ass over because, well, you don't have a big car wrapped around you, a nice car, so you're fair game. Oh, she doesn't have to look out for you, even though she's got 2 tons of steel wrapped around her body and some horsepower there and can do damage to you. Sorry. You've got to take responsibility. If you're not willing to take responsibility, then how grown up are you? How much of an adult are you? Have a little bit more humor with each other. Tease each other just a little bit. You know, there's not much love and care and joy out there, but I'll tell you this. The poor people, the people that don't have much, they're a lot nicer than the people that have something. And the people who have a lot, they're a lot nicer than that. Those people are plagued and weighed down. My uncle wasn't himself at the end of his life. He let others control him. He became desperate to hold on to that wealth and take it with him, or at least give it up to his captors. Stockholm Syndrome. It's pretty sad that he became a shell of a man at the end. It's pretty sad that he became caustic with family members. He got overly harsh with people who really cared for him, and these people that were just caring for his resources and the wealth that he had. I look in the mirror. I feel okay about myself. I'm not taking advantage, well, I don't think I am, of anybody else. It's not that I couldn't and can't. It's not in my character to do that. So if I find out I'm doing that, then I'm going to condemn myself. It's just the way it is. When I was a little boy in this country, we were self-correcting. We had good consciences. Our training was exquisite. And so when I was a little boy, if I looked at a woman that was pretty, I averted my eyes quite often. I felt guilty. That doesn't happen today with anybody, hardly. No, it doesn't. And one of the biggest problems is that the women are encouraging attention from, I don't know what to say, from puny males that have no standards, men who don't have any balls, men who are willing to look and ogle at them, and they're not willing to abide by the law. The law is, you don't touch another monkey's monkey. You don't touch another man's wife. You just don't do that. And we men should be the ones holding the women on that. Oh, I know some are outrageously beautiful, and you can't help but look and go, wow, what a babe, how beautiful. Well, I learned. That's okay. You see them, and they're beautiful. You know they're married, then turn away. Don't follow the temptation any further. It's okay to find them beautiful and attractive, but it's not okay to sit there and imagine having sex with them. When you do that, it changes the whole field around your body and the field around their body, the fields between you. Guess what, guys? They can feel it. You don't get away with it. And you women out there who lust for that attention, you want that attention, you thirst for it, you're not getting away with it either. We need to abide by the law. We need to support couples, marriages, families. You see a young couple together, respect them for the fact that they're paired off and give them a running chance. Don't interfere with it. I'm talking to you ladies out there just as well as the men. You ladies out there want to see how much you can tempt a married man off. Some of you only are attracted to married men. How sick is that? What, you don't feel good enough about yourself that you can't get your own? Well, I haven't felt very good about myself at times either. Didn't feel very worthy at times, especially when I was starting out and couldn't make a living, couldn't support myself. I sure as hell didn't try to support a woman then. Good Lord. Well, I about finished the bottle. I think we're going to call it. I think this is show number 60. There's not much meat and potatoes in here. There's a few dates. There's a few suggestions. There's a few key things. Maybe it actually was to you. I don't know. If it was to you, then do leave a thumbs up. If you got something out of it, great. Go get yourself your own copy of the Bible if you haven't got one. And don't worry about which version it is. All that matters is that you read it. You sit with it and you read it. And believe me, at some point, you might decide, gee, I want to go to another one. I'd like to get a different perspective. I think I'm ready to move on to something that's maybe older English or more modern English. Something with more of a spirit in it. Or something with a bunch of florid, platitudes in it that really doesn't have that much substance to it. Like a politician where they speak nothing but platitudes. Yeah, I know a lot of people think that's what the Bible's supposed to be about. That's what the religion's supposed to be about. Well, that's religiosity. That's going too far with it. I've been guilty of that myself. It's not that hard to go there. Read the Bible. Learn the stories. Learn the names of the characters. Learn the plot. Whenever it says do something or orders something, whenever there's anything like a law, take a good look at that and think about, well, gee, if I put that to work in my own life, what's it going to do for me? And you might actually just try it for a few days and see what it does for you. See if it shores you up, if it gives you better boundaries, if it makes you a better man, a better woman. Remember, folks, you've got to support, the relationships around you. It's your duty and your job. These young families with children, they need your support. You need to recognize them for what they are. You need to give them that authority that they need to have over their children. And you need to help out a bit. You don't step in and take the children's side. You stay out of it. But of course, if you see something that's not right, it's okay to check the person. You might find out you're making an assumption that's in error. Then again, you might find that they need a little shoring up. They need a little of encouragement. And if you know the Bible and you understand those principles, you can give them the right values, the right encouragement. Folks, I love Yahweh, Creator, Father God. I do have some problems with the concept once in a while. I do have some questions about what's going on, about these other species of humanoid-like creatures around. Yes. And I think that most of us here came from other planets, to be honest with you, and we were placed here for some big, grand experiment. I don't think we're supposed to intermix, but yet we should be helping each other. There's nothing against the law to helping. And we people that were placed here last, from Adam, need to be able to take this place back again and run it for the betterment of all of the other humanoids and the animals. The earth. The earth is being poisoned right now. They're not just killing us, they're killing all the species. They're killing the planet. Sometimes I think it's direct action. They want to kill those things. Other times I think it's just, well, they're in the way of us going after these other weird humans that we don't like much, that we're tired of, these useless eaters, whatever you want to call them. Pray to Yahweh. Pray and cultivate that Holy Spirit. Do you have to speak tongues? Oh, hell no. You don't have to do anything like that. You'll figure it out when you get there. You might get a particular sensation as the hairs on your skin start standing upright and the electrical charge changes in your body or around you. It's an electric universe, folks. They don't want you knowing that. Yeah, the soul leaves the body and it continues on. And then there's a judgment. That happens to all of us. Did you do more good or more bad? And that's all right. The hardest part is you got to face yourself. You got to face everything you've done. I have to face everything I've done. I'm not looking forward to that part of it. But it's part of the transition. It's part of going back where we started from. Some of us are going to be taken apart. We're not going to make it beyond that. Read the Apocryphal books if you want to understand a little bit more of that, and meditate on it and pray upon it. Yahweh give you some insight. May Yahweh bless. This is number 60.